In 1858, a ship set sail from Ireland carrying a bundle of cable. A cable that, if successfully laid across the ocean, would achieve something the world had never seen before. It was no thicker than a garden hose, but it held the promise of connecting the world in ways people couldn't yet comprehend. The cable broke and the mission failed. Many dismissed it as an impossible dream. But what they didn't know was that this seemingly doomed venture would be the first step in a journey that would forever change how we communicate. Today, nearly 2 centuries later, those early struggles have evolved into a vast network of undersea cables that now carry 99% of the world's data, using a complex and hidden network of internet cables of millions of kilometers buried beneath the ocean surface. In this video, we'll dive deep into this incredible infrastructure, how it's built, who owns these cables, and why it's crucial for our modern world. Our journey begins in the 19th century, a time when communication across oceans was a dream. In 1858, the world witnessed a groundbreaking event. The first successful transatlantic telegraph cable connecting North America and Europe was laid. It took nearly 2 weeks to lay this cable, but the payoff was monumental. A message that once took weeks by ship could now be sent in minutes. The initial attempts to lay undersea cables faced significant challenges. The very first transatlantic cable was only operational for 3 weeks before it broke. However, these early setbacks provided valuable lessons. Over the following decades, engineers developed more durable materials and advanced technologies to create stronger, more reliable cables. Fast forward to the 21st century, as of June 2024, we now have over 600 active and planned submarine cables, stretching more than 1.4 million kilometers across the globe. These cables are the backbone of our digital world, connecting our planet like never before, with a complex web of undersea cables. Behind this impressive network lies a story of human ingenuity and technical mastery, connected to the process of laying these cables across the ocean floor. But how exactly are these cables laid? The journey of an undersea cable begins at a landing station. From here, the cable line travels beneath the ocean to another landing station across the ocean. Think of these stations as the bridge between the vast ocean and our digital world. Here, specialized equipment converts the optical signals traveling through the cables into electrical signals that our devices can understand. From these stations, data travels through fiber optic cables on land, eventually reaching data centers and then into our homes and offices. But how do these cables make their way across the vast ocean? The process starts with specialized cable laying ships, which are equipped with massive spools of cable, each capable of holding thousands of kilometers. The journey begins at the shore, where the cable is anchored at the landing station. As the ship sets sail, it meticulously deploys the cable along a carefully planned route on the ocean floor, avoiding obstacles like undersea mountains and deep trenches. In shallow coastal waters, the cable encounters its first challenge: human activity. To prevent accidental damage from fishing, shipping, and other activities, these cables are often buried beneath the seabed in trenches, carefully dug using high-pressure water jets. As the cable ventures beyond the shallow waters, it plunges into much deeper depths where it is laid openly on the ocean floor. Here, it must withstand powerful ocean currents and encounters with marine life. The pressure from the water above is immense, yet these cables are remarkably durable, transmitting data at nearly 200,000 kilometers per second, far faster than any communication method on land. These cables travel even deeper, to depths of around 1,000 to 4,000 meters. Here the cables face immense pressures, up to 400 times the pressure at sea level. To put it in perspective, it's like having the weight of 10 fully loaded Boeing 747 jets, each weighing up to 400,000 kilograms, stacked on a single square meter. Yet these cables remain resilient, protected by multiple layers that shield them from both natural and man-made threats. In some areas, undersea cables run through the ocean's deepest points. The APCN-2 cable is an example, as it passes through regions like the Japan Trench, reaching depths of around 6,000 meters. At these depths, the pressure is enormous, 600 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. This is like having the weight of 15 fully loaded Boeing 747s pressing down on every square meter. Yet these cables continue to function, showcasing the incredible engineering that goes into their design. This highlights human ingenuity and our ability to tackle some of the planet's most daunting challenges, ensuring that we stay connected across the globe. Now take a look at this. What you're seeing is the vast network of submarine cables that stretch across our planet. These lines represent the unseen pathways that connect continents, countries, and billions of people to the internet. It's a complex web, silently operating beneath the ocean's surface. Each line on this map is a lifeline of data, carrying everything from emails and financial transactions to streaming videos and social media posts. People think that data is in the cloud, but it's not. It's in the ocean. So, with this vast and critical network of submarine cables connecting the world, the question arises, who actually owns these cables? The answer is as complex as the network itself. Consortia of telecom companies. In the early days, submarine cables were primarily owned by consortia, groups of telecommunication companies that pooled their resources to finance and operate these vital connections. A prime example is TAT-8, one of the first fiber optic cables laid across the Atlantic in 1988. This groundbreaking project involved 35 participants, including major international carriers like AT&T, France Telecom, and British Telecom. This model allowed companies to share the enormous costs and risks associated with undersea cable projects. The rise of private companies. By the late 1990s, the landscape began to shift. Privately financed cables started to emerge, breaking away from the traditional consortium model. This period saw a massive surge in investment, with over $22 billion poured into submarine cable projects between 1999 and 2001. However, this boom came with its own challenges. Many of the cable operators, such as Global Crossing and WorldCom, faced financial difficulties, leading to a wave of bankruptcies during this period. The new giants. Fast forward to today, a new group of players has taken the lead in undersea cable ownership. Tech giants like Google, Meta, and Amazon have become some of the most significant investors in submarine cables. Their involvement has dramatically increased the global network's capacity, far outpacing the growth driven by traditional telecom companies. For instance, Google alone owns 6 active submarine cables and plans to have 8 more operational within the next 2 years. These companies are not just providing content, they are now also controlling the very infrastructure that delivers it to billions of users worldwide. Government ownership. While private companies dominate the scene, governments also play a role, though on a much smaller scale. Approximately 1% of submarine cables are owned or partially owned by governments, often due to national security concerns. For example, the Australian government considers its submarine cable systems vital to the national economy and has established protection zones to safeguard these critical assets from damage. As we have seen, these cables are owned and operated by some of the most powerful entities in the world, including tech giants, global consortia, and visionary companies, all competing for a stake in the digital future. But ownership is only part of the story. What truly defines these cables is their scale, their reach, and their power to connect us all. From over 600 cables, I want to bring your attention to 6 of the most prominent lines from across the world, offering you a glimpse into the vastness of these critical networks. First, the Anjana cable, set to launch in 2024, spans 7,121 kilometers from Spain to the United States, with a mind-blowing capacity of 480 terabits per second. Owned by Meta, this cable is poised to redefine transatlantic connectivity. Google's Grace Hopper cable, already serving since 2022, stretching 7,191 kilometers from Spain to England and to the United States, with a capacity of 352 terabits per second, keeps Europe and America in sync. The Juno cable, connecting Japan and the United States over 11,710 kilometers, set to be ready in 2024. With 350 terabits per second, this cable connects east and west, owned by a coalition of companies such as NTT, Mitsui & Company, and JA Mitsui Leasing. The Europe-India Gateway, operational since 2011, spans 15,000 kilometers, linking Europe, the Middle East, and India. Owned by a diverse consortium including AT&T, Altice Portugal, BSNL, Omantel, Saudi Telecom, and many other companies. Google's Submarine cable, connecting South and North America, has been in service since 2023, covers 14,517 kilometers with a capacity of 240 terabits per second, connecting Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, and the United States. Lastly, the To Africa cable, one of the longest ever built, encircles Africa and stretches to Europe and Asia, spanning an astounding 45,000 kilometers. With 180 terabits per second, this cable is set to transform connectivity across 3 continents. The cable line is owned by a consortium of companies including China Mobile, MTN, Meta Platforms, Orange, Saudi Telecom, Telecom Egypt, Vodafone, and WIOCC. I hope you now have a clearer understanding of how the internet travels across the world, connecting you to anyone, anywhere. If you found this exploration fascinating, you might also enjoy my previous video on how this very internet offers us opportunities to create sustainable sources of wealth. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.